Yeah, I'm greasy. What about it? First thing in the morning, haven't showered, worked out right before bed, didn't shower. Big whoop. Hmm? Can't handle a little grease? Get out of the kitchen. Last night was the Game Awards where Jeff Keighley teabagged us all with some big announcements and some big awards. And there's a few things I want to talk about. First of all, that was the biggest stream I've ever done in my life. I had 110,000 peak concurrent viewers on YouTube and 20,000 on Twitch. 130,000 total viewers on one of my live streams is unfathomable to me. Can't even get the words out. So huge thanks to you for anyone that tuned in. That was cool. Big thanks to Jeff Keighley for making my biggest stream of all time. I mean, I worked really hard on watching the Game Awards this year. I put a lot of work into my reactions, so I'm glad to see that this was the stream that popped off so big for me. But there's just aside from that, there's some things I want to talk about with like the announcements as well as the big talk of the town, game of the year. First and foremost, there were some big announcements that I absolutely think are worth getting excited for. Some shit that I don't think even Baba Vanga would have predicted were revealed at the awards show here. I know there's a ton of naysayers saying nothing good got shown, it all looks like trash. But I would say don't listen to the paint chip eating weirdos that are still soiling their diapers. Like, that is actual delusion. Like, sure, you can say, oh, I'm not really looking forward to, maybe the next Elden Ring game, which I'm going to get into in a moment because it seems it's going in a weird direction. But to say that there were no good announcements blows my mind. We got a fucking Okami sequel announcement, for God's sake. I feel like people that think there was nothing good shown here don't actually play games, because that alone is huge. We got a new Onimusha, a new Virtua Fighter. To keep in mind, Virtua Fighter hasn't had a new real game since 2007. We got a new game from the Shadow of the Colossus team. Like, these are huge games that I cannot wait to see. Like, these are OG from back in like the golden era of really creative works. So I'm super excited to see a new iteration into these franchises. Like, I think that's really exciting. And then for new franchises, they announced Project Century, which looks really good. Naughty Dog's got a new IP. Hey, I'm breaking the timeline here. I just showered, but I have to replace this section here as I was listing new IPs that they announced last night. So that's why my hair's wet instead of greasy now. Just want to peel back the curtain on that a little bit on why it changed so drastically. But some of the other IPs that they announced that look great. First Berserker, Kazan. Dispatch. The Pac-Man secret level game, Shadow Labyrinth. Like, there's just a lot they showed that I actually think is super cool. So I was really impressed with the trailers and really surprised that people thought there was nothing good that they revealed. It actually baffles my fucking noodle up here that anyone would think that. I really think it's people just wanting everything to be bad. So they'll put on their biggest frown and just pretend that it was all negative and it's all lame, throwaway shovelware. The gaming industry is so cooked. I also just forgot, they revealed a new Turok. There hasn't been a new Turok since 2008. I used to make montages on the 2008 Turok game when I was still in fucking middle school. Turok as an IP has been dead and dusted for almost 2 decades. The last time I touched a new Turok game, I hadn't even held a girl's hand. And now, in 2024, we get a fucking Turok announcement? How is that not hype? Like, I don't understand why everyone is so desperate for everything to be the worst it can possibly be, even when there is, like, real positive shit that they showed from the announcements. That's exciting. And gaming, I think AAA gaming is kind of cooked. Like, at least Western devs, it's been fucking floundering left and right. I've talked about this a lot. But where the AAA space is eating ass, the rest of the world is blessing us with great games. Like, we haven't had this many international releases to this quality ever. And indie games have never been better. Like, the gaming industry as a whole, I think, is in a good space. And I think it's a good thing that some of these legacy AAA studios are eating so much shit. Like Ubisoft. I spit on Ubisoft every chance I get. I've been hawking loogies at them for many, many months now. But they deserve it. Like, they are digging their own grave. They just released a fucking NFT game in 2024. Like, come on. So while Ubisoft might be having this cartoonish fall where they're just perpetually slipping on ice as their stock price continues to plummet, where they might not make it, there will be other games that will fill that void. And they'll probably get bought by Tencent. I really think Ubisoft will end up getting bought by Tencent. I don't think that's going to save any of the properties that they have, but that's my little game theory, my hypothesis there. What we'll have is more room for great games like a Black Myth Wukong, or great indie games like a Nine Souls. Still very upset Nine Souls didn't get a single nomination, by the way. Anyway, though, I'll stop going on that tangent. Let's talk about something I just briefly mentioned that I talked about quite a bit during the stream. The new Elden Ring, Nightreign. When they first showed it, man, I was kicking my little feet in my chair. I was so happy. It's clearly not a battle royale. I'm so fucking hyped. I really... Oh my god, the Nameless King, I'm gonna come. Jiminy Christmas. That guy just has an eagle for a head. That's the most American patriotic shit I ever seen. So it's not DLC, they said it's a standalone. So it's a new Elden Ring game? All that excitement soon turned to excrement. The more I learned about it, the more I started to get more and more worried and kind of shitting on the concept. So Nightreign is a roguelike, co-op survival boss rush type experience with battle royale elements. Like that bird you saw right there is actually like their battle bus, according to the people that played. Oh, it's painful. Like, I have nothing but faith in FromSoft, but I am really concerned that this might be their first blemish. And this is not with Sony buying Kadokawa yet. So this is a FromSoft decision. And I'm gonna be honest, sports fans. I'll play some clips from the stream where you can see the realization wash over me that this might not actually be good. But I think this really might not be very good. I don't like the concept. I do not think it makes a whole lot of sense for a Souls game, but I am willing to be proven wrong, hoping I'll be proven wrong. Please don't let me down, FromSoft. The vibes get even stranger when you see a battle royale style wall of deadly rain encircling the map and characters dashing around on foot like the... Wait, what? Nightreign is Elden Ring Turbo, condensed 3-player roguelike with a little dash of Monster Hunter to it as you choose a final boss to face at the end of a 30-ish minute run. That's assuming you survive 2 days of the circle shrinking to focal points where someone in Alt Limgrave each night, culminating in its own tough boss battle. I don't really love that. Yeah, I know Miyazaki's not on it, that's what chat was saying, but even still, that just seems like such a blatant cash grab. I don't like that. I mean, maybe, again, I have nothing but faith in FromSoft in general, but that direction I'm not super stoked on. When I started my first session by dropping onto the map from a spectral bird, the entrance was so Fortnite coded I wondered if From Software was joining the live service party with a battle pass seasonal event and $20 epic skins. So that's what the bird was that they showed? That's their like battle bus dropping? Oh, fuck me. Oh, yikes. We wanted to have a game that felt like a complete package out of the box on the day of purchase so everything is unlockable. It's not what we'd consider a live service game. We're still in the process of thinking about possibilities. No PvP elements at all, no invasions, no esoteric multiplayer covenants. We wanted to have a sense of accomplishment. You don't put those words together. You never put those words together. Ever. You never put sense of accomplishment like that. Man, I'm a little worried this might be FromSoft's first miss. And this isn't even Sony's fault. This is before they're getting bought out by Sony. Shit! Well, okay, I'm counting my chickens before they hatch. But man, how do you even make that good? That is like the antithesis to a Souls experience. Like, I think you can make a roguelike work. I think you can make roguelike elements work. What I'm not convinced you can make work is a battle royale influenced boss rush. Has Miyazaki-san had any input in the game, or is he strictly hands-off on the project? Initially, I took the idea to Miyazaki-san, who gave it the green light. He was a little involved in that initial concept phase of the game, but after that, he gave full reign to me. Isn't looking good. It's not sounding good. But I guess we'll see, man. I'll give FromSoft the benefit of the doubt. They haven't let me down yet, but this feels like something I'd expect them to do under Sony, to be honest. But it's not Sony. This is something they just decided to do. I'll go ahead and stop yapping about Elden Ring, and now let's blabber about the big one, Game of the Year. I've said for a while my Game of the Year was Black Myth Wukong. My favorite games of the year were Black Myth Wukong, Nine Souls, and Space Marine 2. I absolutely fucking loved those 3 games. Astrobot I do think is a good game. It wouldn't be my personal Game of the Year, but that is what took home the gold medal. Come on, Wukong! I think it's gonna be Astrobot, like I said. I think it'll probably be Astrobot.
And the Game of the Year is...
But I'm pulling for Wukong, please!
Astrobot!
Damn it! Fuck! I told you though. There were a lot of people upset about this dubski from Astrobot here, especially during stream in the chat. I think a lot of people didn't play Astrobot because a lot of people kind of wrote it off as just being like a throwaway platformer, even though it was like a game journalist darling that had like 10s across the board. Trust in game journalists has never been lower, for good reason. Just look at IGN. They're really going hog wild on 5s for like actually good things. Like it's at a point where a lot of people don't really care what a game journalist review has to say about something. So people didn't put a lot of stock into something like Astrobot being an actually good game. It is. Astrobot is a great game. It was a wonderful game, super fun, full of soul. It has a lot of replayability, but I do still feel personally that Black Myth Wukong was something a little more special. Astrobot set out to make a really good platforming game, and it succeeded in a big way. Black Myth Wukong set out on like a really unique path. It's not like the most unique game, the gameplay in it isn't something we haven't seen before, but the complete package that it delivers is unlike a lot of things I've played, because it comes from a Chinese developer that really tried to carve its own road with this game. And I think they succeeded. Like, it has so much style and so much to it. Like, it took me 35 hours or something just to beat the game the first time around, and that was without getting the true ending. So the game has a lot of meat on its bones. It never really overstays its welcome somehow. Like, it still constantly feels fresh. It's challenging, but not in a way that ever really felt unfun. I've glazed Black Myth Wukong plenty. I'm sure all of you have heard me gushing grannies over it. I just really thought Black Myth Wukong was Game of the Year for me. Wukong did win Player's Voice, which was the 100% user-voted game award, so Black Myth Wukong got the Player's Game of the Year award, the People's Champion. But I just really did think that it was deserving of a Game of the Year win here. Not that I think Astrobot isn't, I just still felt Black Myth Wukong was stronger. Anyway, though, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the Game Awards last night. Really, that's about it. So, yeah.